Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. So I did finally order that mulch. What I ended up doing was I drove into the garden supply store and I had a chat with them. It changed hands since the last time I ordered, and I'm always a bit confused about how much and how to describe what I want to do. So it ended up being much easier to go in. They had all the different types laid out, so I could choose which one I wanted. And I was even able to get it delivered that very day. So that was really cool. Had a big pile of mulch dropped off by the house because we couldn't get it over here near the shed because the ground was too wet and muddy, but also because we needed some for the garden around the house. We thought that was a good place to start with it, and then we can move it to all the other places that we need it. So now the big job begins of actually having to spread the stuff out. So I have now, with the help of Mum, have done the little bit of the garden near the house leading into the laundry and mudroom. It looks really good now, but it took two goes only because um I started and I had this edging to put down with pegs and it's like a plastic guard, and it was too short, so I had to go to Bunnings and buy another whole length of the guard and a few more of the pegs. So I couldn't finish the guard the first day that I started. So I did a little bit that day and then stopped, partly because the weather turned terrible, but also because without having the guard to hold the mulch in all the way along, there was really no point putting more of it down because it was just going to go everywhere. So I've got the little guard in, and now we have a really cute little garden bed all along that site where I've got my passion fruit and roses. And I think now that it's a much more defined garden bed, I'll probably end up putting in some other like cute little flowers, some violets or pansies or things like that, some annuals and some perennials that will sort of brighten up that little area of the garden, which will look really pretty. Now the actual really big job begins of moving the mulch over from near the house to the shed. We mowed the section where the trees are near the tanks and have started to lay down cardboard, and we'll then put the mulch on top of the cardboard so that hopefully that stops the grass from growing up quite as much, and we can have that a really good area of just trees and mulch there. And then I also need to top up all of my shed garden area as well with fresh mulch. It's looking a little bit depleted from 2 years ago now that I first did it, and there are some weeds starting to come up. So I need to sort of carefully bring it over and get it into spots where there are no plants and flowers, and then gradually move it out around the plants so that I can preserve everything that's already growing and cover up all of the weeds. So yesterday, Mum and I probably did about, I don't know, 8 or 10 barrow loads. It felt like a lot more. It was quite humid and even sunny yesterday. So it was actually quite hard work to do. But we got a start and got some of it over here. So that's good. So hopefully in the next week or so, it won't be happening this weekend because I will be at the Tea Time Yarn Retreat Market. I might try and get some done early next week. See how we go. I've got a lot going on, so may not have a lot of gardening time. I had also intended to put some of the mulch out the day after it arrived, but we had an enormous storm. It was ridiculous. There was hail. The rain was coming down so hard. The gutters and everything were just overflowing. The paddocks went back to being all flooded again. It just felt like you get a couple of days of warm and then this terrible wet weather just sort of comes down on us again, and then it takes a few days for all of that to kind of dry out before you can start to do anything around the farm again without almost losing your boot in the mud. Last week I talked about buying some new clothes and that I would at some point do the whole wardrobe changeover. I have not done that yet, but what I did do, and it's something that's really tiny and I've seen it talked about and I kind of ignored it because for most part I'm kind of cheap, and so I had all these different coat hangers, like random from just collection over the years. You sort of like, end up getting it from a shop or buying a set of two or three or whatever, and they were all mismatchy, and But I just decided the other day that I would just buy a whole lot of the black flocked coat hangers and change everything over to that. So I would just have those and then the clip ones for pants. And I was actually really surprised at the difference that it made from having all mismatched to having all the same and having everything hanging at the same level, and everything with those flocked hangers, everything stays on really well. So I now have a nice neat wardrobe, and it actually feels like I've got more room. I don't want to add anything to it in terms of the clothes. In fact, I'm probably going to be paring it back once I do that changeover. But I'm just really happy with how neat and tidy it looks. So yeah, this weekend I am attending another Tea Time Yarn Retreat market. I'm really looking forward to it. I didn't think I was going to be able to make this one, but I have been able to figure some stuff out so that I can get there, which I'm really happy about. And I'm really looking forward to seeing all of the participants there and also the stall holders as well, because it's really nice to catch up. So as soon as I'm done recording here, I'm going to be unpacking my tub from the last sock class that I did, because I thought that the next thing that I would be doing out like as a market kind of thing would be the next sock class. So I have to get that all sorted out, get it ready for the tea time market, label some of the yarn that I've just been dyeing up so that I can pack and take that with me before I edit this video and then pack the car and head off. So it's going to be a busy day. And this week I did some dyeing up of my country colorways. I've done 3 of the colors, so I still need to do the other half of the set. And then I will have full skeins and mini skeins of those, which will be part of my display for the She's Crafty market, which is coming up at the end of October. So at the moment I did, still a bit wet, Orchids Deck the Treetops, which is like a light green with pinks and purples. I did Jewel C, so it's sort of like dark purple and blue with speckles and little tiny sections of white and some black. And Brown Streams and Soft Dim Skies, which is a really light blue with a light brown. So I enjoyed dyeing up those ones, and I'm looking forward to doing the other 3 in the series and then getting the mini skeins done as well. Okay, now I'm really sorry, but I do not have that much crafting progress to show this week. I've been busy doing the garden, I've been busy dyeing, and when I've stopped to sit down and relax, this just hasn't been knitting that I've been wanting to do. I've just been like watching some shows or just kind of staring off into space, really, which is a bit strange for me. I will obviously get back into doing a lot of knitting, but at the moment I'm not. I'm also finding that my eyes are getting a little bit tired by the afternoon. So I'm not wanting to like sit and like look at something really close up. I have had my eyes tested this last week as well. That's something else that kept me busy. So yeah, I am getting reading glasses. So when they come, I'll have to give a little fashion parade and show you what they're like. But hopefully that will help. They might take a couple of weeks because of this whole long weekend, double long weekend, whatever, holidays. So I'm hoping I get those in a week or so that hopefully that relieves some of the stress and pressure on my eyes, and I can then get back to doing lots of knitting. I do, however, have some stash enhancement. Not a purchase though. A friend has just come back from Germany, and while they were there, they bought me 2 skeins of opal sock yarn. Very exciting to get opal sock yarn straight from Germany. So I've got this really cool, bright coloured one. Now, as far as I can tell, the colourway is something about a sheep, and then it's the birthday party, Willie throws confetti, and it should end up looking like that. And the other one I've got is this one. And this one, the translation I think is a bit weird. So it's the expedition, and then it is Koch Clarkson, which I don't think actually translates. I think Koch is cook, but Carlton is just like Carl. So it's like cook Carl. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I'm excited to see these ones knit up too. It's actually kind of pink and really light purple and black and grey. And I think that those stripes are going to be really fun. Something I did that was not my own craft was that I helped my sister to block out some little stars that she was making to give as gifts. So we sprayed them and we pinned them out to get all their points nice and even. Then I used a starch spray on the back and a hairdryer to dry out the spray so that one side would be slightly firm so that it would keep those points nice and neat. So yeah, she wasn't sure how to do that. She does a lot of amigurumi and she doesn't normally block anything out. So we spent a bit of time doing that, which was fun. So yeah, as I said, not a lot of knitting progress. Here are my socks that are still my go-to project. I'll be taking these with me to the craft market so I can just knit on those with everyone when we sit down to have lunch and have a little chat. And my I can't say it. And my and my ramuri, I can never say it properly. Again, I've probably done another couple of rows. It actually is not showing up the pattern as well on the screen as it is in person. I think once I get that sort of grey purple into the body, you'll be able to see it better, how it sort of works. And it's quite bunched up on the needles at the moment. So I'm getting through it, but as I said, my eyes have been tired and I haven't had a ton of time or knitting motivation, so it hasn't really seen a lot of work this week. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.